human race, that they're all just a cancer on the earth. You should have been on the side of the abortionists. You should have seen that it's overpopulation that's really destroying the creation. The creation that's most valuable is the earth, not the human beings. Which is not true. God created it all. The human beings are the treasure on this earth. God, it's just dirt and water to him, and minerals and junk. He can do this. Look at it. Look at how superfluous it is throughout our galaxy. Not just the galaxy, but the universe, habitable planets and stuff. It's everywhere. I'm not saying we shouldn't take care of it. We should. We should ask ourselves why we're not off all these dirty fuels. And first and foremost is this nuclear. That's scary. They talk about, billions of half-lives and all this crap. I mean, that I don't understand. But, I mean, it's pretty scary when you think about it. And the fact that these things are vulnerable to earthquakes and tidal waves and stuff, like in Fukushima. So, that's first and foremost the most dangerous dirty fuel out there. But all of it, all the oil, coal, we could bend off that stuff a long time ago with hydrogen technology, on-demand engines that, we're capable of manufacturing this stuff on demand, so you just put water in your gas tank. The same with air flight, the same with ships. Tapping into tides, tapping into the wind, tapping into the solar, and then Tesla technology too, just tapping into the atmosphere. Just we got electricity is ubiquitous; it's everywhere. Just tapping and pulling it right out of the air. So, all this stuff, the problems are all solvable. Human beings interacting with the earth do not have to harm the earth. These people are using this as a pretense to look like the good guys. Like, these are the guys that really matter, you know what I mean? That, these are the ones that are, these are the real environmentalists that want to save the planet. And they say, point the finger at the human beings because of the CO2. When one volcano, good God, and this is just an act of the earth itself, that's putting out this CO2. What does it put out? I mean, it puts out probably more carbon than all humanity combined puts out in a year. But yet, no, we never talk about, the bad volcano, and why don't we cap the volcano or vent it out of our atmosphere or some crazy scheme. No, they don't want to talk about that stuff. All right? So understand, folks, that every single problem, societal, civilization-wide problem out there, stems from these people, from these money lovers. They have imposed, and foisted this problem on us because this is how they thrive. They need chaos. That's the most important thing. So what is chaos? That's a very nebulous term because it could be a lot of things. It could be one thing. It could be, but that's it. The one most important thing is that they keep people down. They keep them oppressed. That's how they terrorize people. That's how they exert their tyranny, is through impoverishment, intentional impoverishment, artificial scarcity, pointing the finger at the welfare recipient. The poor people are spending everything. It all goes right back into the economy, folks. You can say, well, the landlords aren't. Well, that might be true, but they're not the poor ones, are they? They're on the other side of that equation. They're the overlord. The new overlord is the landlord extracting the rent, and all the innocent homeowners out there just say, oh, well, the market's been manipulated. We got price fixing, but that's capitalism. And I know the value of my house went. I don't care how it went up. I don't care that it's phony, that it's a charade. I benefited from it in my eyes. But don't you understand, folks, that you're not free anymore? You can have that mentality, well, I'm just going to go out and borrow money, refinance, and go buy a nice new car. But understand you're not free. Now you understand if you had to sell that house. Let's take an extreme example. You're a homeowner in San Francisco. You bought your house for $10,000 back in the late 50s, early 1960s, which happened all the time, in less than $10,000. And now your house is worth over $1 million. Happens all the time. It's a matter of fact. It's a matter of statistical record. You can look all this stuff up. And you say you think you've benefited greatly. You can't believe how rich you are, and you can refinance and get anything you want with this. But you're not free. If you had to sell that house and just buy another one and use all the cash you got from that house, understand how your cost of living would go up. Because now your taxes, instead of being based on a $10,000 purchase price, now they're going to be based on this $1 million purchase price. So your taxes go from, literally $100 a year to over $10,000 a year based on the purchase price. That's from this Proposition 13 that California embraced. It was back in the early 1970s, I believe. But a lot of people thought, oh, this is just wonderful and great, because now, instead of me having to pay more taxes as my home increased in value, which is unearned increment increasal in value, because I didn't do anything to prove my house, it just went up through market manipulation, price fixing, under the guise of capitalism, which it's pseudo capitalism. It's this crony capitalism, which amounts to fascism. It's just the merging of state, which is government, another nebulous force, and the private industry into what is fascism. That's basically the definition of fascism. It's not the Nazi definition, but it's a very good one. It's a very good example of how we're being controlled by not just one source, but now they're colluding together. It's a collaboration between private entities and governmental entities. So it's horrible. It's a fascist. It's not capitalism. So you understand how we've been tricked every which way from Sunday, and what the problem is here, folks. So anyhow, I am going to end this video now, and I really wish the best for everybody. I really do, because it's as simple as wishing the best for myself and wishing the best for my kids. You see, the more we start getting empowered with knowledge and wisdom and truth, all these things that keep growing, that these evil people, these evildoers at the top can't stop. They wish to God they could stop. They're God, though. They wish they could. So like these people again at the abortion rally holding up the blank cardboard and the black tarps and whatever to block the free speech, they would love to stop the information from going forth, but they can't. There's a tsunami. The planet and humanity is being inundated with truth, with accurate education, accurate information, accurate enlightenment for the masses, and it's coming from the hand of God. God wants us to be empowered. God wants us to understand His nature, His character, His personality, His will for you, His will for me. He wants you to know that you're a precious treasure. Don't buy what these people say under the guise of being ecologists, want to save the planet. They're eco-fascists. These are murderous gaggle of thugs. The Georgia Guidestones, these people, these globalists, this political money printing class, all these aristocrat blue bloods, they sicken me. They sicken God. His heart is against these people. They're going down. They are. And, they can't stop the truth from going forward. That this is making them miserable. Don't let them keep faking you out. They're going to try to keep their chin up and try to keep acting like everything's all right. They're just liars on a stage, really poor actors, but they're going to do it because they're deluded. They don't believe it. They know truth from fiction, but they're bought and sold. They hook, line, and sinker. They're entrenched, embedded. They've gone too far. They can't jump ship, apparently. If they could, more of them would. But you seldom hear of some really evil person repenting and coming out and saying, oh, blah, 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 and this and that. I mean, Alan Greenspan recently came out with some truth. His whole time, people affectionately called him the Fed. Oh, it was Alan Greenspan. He was so wonderful what he was doing for the country. And just allowing the debt to increase. Oh, yeah, that's really wonderful, Mr. Fed. No accountability, no oversight, no checks and balances. Wonderful. You destroyed our currency, and this is all great. Bill Clinton, the same thing. All these people colluding together. I see the political and private class. What they've done, the fascists, what they've done to us. So hopefully that I can empower one person, they empower another, and we can all just share knowledge and wisdom and grow from this, because it is what God wants. He loves you. He loves you. I can't comprehend the love God has for you. But we've all got to spread that truth, exalt one another, understand we are children of God, as we accept that role, that we are like little gods in that sense, and God's not offended by that notion. He gave us these things. He gave us our brain. He gave us a heart, mind, spirit, and soul, and body. All these gifts. And what makes sense? That's when you think about God and you want to derive an opinion about God, just remember, it all makes sense. It's all logical. It's all reasonable. And, when you come to thinking about how, what is God? That our divine parents, male and female, first chapter of the Bible. We created them in our image, in our likeness, male and female. That's why I'm always talking about God in that sense. And that, we are one family, and this is how God wants us to live with each other. He wants us to, help set the captives free. And that's all I do in my videos. I try to help set the captives free, to understand what that means. And the only way we're going to get free is to get free from these money masters. So anyhow, you all have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again sometime soon, I hope.